historians. Today, I'm going to be rambling about Hytale combat. So if you didn't know, about a year ago, we saw that the Hytale team completely revamped the combat in Hytale, making it more complicated and more in-depth. If you want a recap of how the combat works in Hytale, you can watch this video. And today I will be presenting some of my hopes, thoughts, and random ideas linked to the Hytale combat. So let's begin. Firstly, we know that there are lots of weapon tiers. So there are wooden, copper, iron, cobalt, and so on. And I wonder if it's only a change of durability and damage between the weapons, or if they get something new. Like for example, we know that the weapons have 4 main attacks. I'll use the mace as an example. The mace's basic attack is just a swing from left to right and then from right to left. Then every weapon has an alternate attack, and for the mace it's a hilt slam that pushes the target backward. Every weapon also has a special attack which takes a couple of attacks to charge, and for the mace it's a huge swing with big knockback. And lastly, every weapon has an ultimate attack which takes a lot of hits to charge. And for the mace, it's a jump and then a huge slam onto the ground, dealing big area damage. But I wonder, would it be cool if different tiers had different amounts of abilities? So for example, the wood and the copper tools and weapons would only have the basic and the alternate attack. The iron and steel weapons would have the basic, the alternate, and also the special attack, and the cobalt and thorium weapons would have the ultimate attack along with every other. But we know this isn't the case, because in the combat clips we saw the players were equipped with mid-tier weapons and still used every ability. But who knows, maybe they'll change it. Next, I want to talk about throwable items. So, we know that you can throw spears and that you can throw daggers. But what else could you throw? You could theoretically throw any weapon. Most logically, other than the ones we have, would be a hand axe. But you could also throw a sword, or maybe even a hammer. What's the limit? And also, maybe you would have to craft different weapons for throwing. So maybe there will be regular daggers that you can fight with, and then you can craft throwing daggers that you can throw at people. This also applies to spears and javelins. Another thing is, I'm worried that even though they added such complexity to Hytale, that it would become very simple, because I fear that people would just spam basic attacks until they charge up their special, use it, spam basic attacks until they charge up the ultimate, use it, and then repeat that. Very similar to Minecraft 1.8 combat, except using the abilities, because Minecraft doesn't have that. But yeah, who knows, maybe there will be different strategies and whatnot. And maybe I'm just overthinking it. Also, I wonder if it would be cool if some types of enemies have weaknesses to certain types of damage. For example, skeletons could take lower damage from things like arrows and spears, because they're just bones, you can't really make holes in them. But would take higher damage from stuff like hammers and maces, because you would just explode them into a bunch of bones. Or, for example, stuff like slimes could take, on the other hand, smaller damage from stuff like hammers, because they don't really care if you smash them. It would take more damage from swords, because if you cut them up, they can't merge anymore. Other than that, we saw a bit of the magic system in Hytale, but I think it's still a bit too simple in my opinion. For example, with the books, all we saw was that you can throw projectiles when you have the book, and that's just too simple. That's just like using a bow and arrow. But we did get a bit more magical with staffs that all have unique abilities, it looks like. For example, the ice staff will make a huge crack in the ground with ice spikes going up from it. But yeah, I really hope that magical weapons have more special and unique abilities and more of them that you can use. And also I wonder if Hytale would have a mana system. So every spell takes a certain amount of mana, the stronger it is the more it takes. And mana regenerates naturally over time if you don't cast any spells. You have to be mindful when you cast them instead of just spamming them when you can. We basically have this confirmed because we did see a blue bar in the UI screenshots, but they said that they are changing a lot of the UI and most of the things we see are outdated, so maybe that could change. That's about everything I have for today. They're just some of the things I thought of when I was thinking about the combat in Hytale, because there's so much to think about. There's so much to unpack, and I'm really excited to try it out when the game comes out. But what do you think about the combat? Post your ideas below. Okay, bye.